Hey everyone, Azure Wolf here. I've been gone a while, but I'm back with another video. Today we're taking a Pokemon and drawing what they would look like if they were human. In this video we're going to design a human Charizard, because Charizard is my favorite. Before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm also on Twitch as Black Cat Creations. I do drawings and gaming streams there on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so first thing I start to do is I start to sketch out a basically a little stick figure, my stick figure. Basically, I'm just trying to get the pose and everything just to start off with a good basis and all that, like where the leg's gonna go and everything. Then I start to fill in the shapes, the head, the arms, the eyes, all of that. I put in the wings. I decided to include Charizard's wings in there. I just kind of like thought that would be cool, just to make it that he hasn't embraced being human as much. The leg was a little wonky, so I decided to work on that too. You know, just make sure everything is as perfect as it can be, as right as it can be. Go in and draw the other wing. And I start putting in the clothes. I chose to do overalls. I don't know why. Like, I gave him overalls because I thought it would look interesting. I don't know. We need to bring back overalls as a style choice. Overalls need to come back into fashion. The leg gave me a little bit of issue. I definitely had to look up some reference to see how that would work. I go in with the hair. Give him a little scar with a band-aid, make him look like he's kind of a punk. That's kind of like what I chose to go with this one. Like, this Charizard's kind of like in human form. He's kind of like this young punk dude and all that. Don't know exactly what's punk about overalls, but it'll work. Yeah, then I go in and put in the clothes and all that, and he's kind of like has the leg parts of the overall like rolled up. I gave him a katana, because katanas are cool. Yeah, I just started working in the flesh and everything, and he's just like chilling, laying in against the wall, drinking his juice pop. There, like the rebel he is. Yeah, going and drawing all the details. It's got like a little fire button there on his overalls to let you know that, you know, he used to be a fire type. Fire was his thing. But then I flesh out the details a little bit more. The lips. Flesh out the wings. Let's get everything. Put a little bit more detail in the overalls, give it the pockets and all that. Some shading. But then this is when I decided to go in with my brush pen, and I just start doing my inking. Inking is my favorite part of the drawing. Remember, you gotta keep your line weights, vary your line weights, just so the image doesn't look so boring, and this gives people's eye a little bit more to play with. Yeah, I start going in, inking everything. Like the outline, I couldn't do like this silhouette type thing where I give the thickest line to the outline. And I go in with a smaller, narrower pen, and I start doing in all the little details with the hair and all that. With the straps and everything. Start working and building all those up. Try to focus a little bit on line thickness and all that as well. And for the face and all that, I use smaller pens because with the smaller pens you can get in those little details. Like I did the straw there. tend to use smaller nibs for the face itself. I really like how his expression came out, honestly. It's like, it looks very close to what I had imagined in my mind. And the hairline. I chose to go with a shorter, like, kind of like, just wild cut type of hair. You know, I didn't want to make him like typical long hair like you see in most animes and all that. Let's start to do the hair and all that. Put in more details. I use this I think it's like a 0.005 nib, just like the smallest, and that's when I start to put in little details like the folds of the clothes, give the hair more texture, the face more texture. I have this new tool, it was like a French something, I bought it, it is amazing, it totally helps with making all kinds of curves and stuff. It's really amazing, I highly recommend it as an artist tool. But I put in more details on the sword, put in some shadows with the inking. Put in the flaps of the wing, give the wing some texture. I recommend one of these things too, like a little stencil that lets you make perfect circles. That is amazing. Once I'm done with my inking, I start to just erase everything. Try to erase as much of the pencil lines as possible. Put in a little line there that indicating that there is a wall there that he's leaning against. And I started with my coloring. I chose a kind of like a fire red for his hair. I get the darkest shades in, and I go in with the lighter shade of red. I change between the two just to blend it a little bit. To the eyebrows. So for the wings, I choose an orange color, leaving some of that open for highlights, where the sun is hitting it the strongest. I go in with a darker shade. I think I used a darker shade of yellow for this. Just putting in the shades and the shadows and all that. I decided to make the overalls like orange, like the wings. Because that is, after all, Charizard's base color. It's orange. So I just start filling all that in, all that. Leaving some there for the highlight, some room there for the highlights. I don't color the whole thing in. Then I get a darker orange to where the overalls fold to show that the inside is darker. Try to go with a lighter yellow for the highlights. It's not exactly working too great, but it'll do. I go in with a dark brown for the part of the overalls that are rolled up, and I get this like blue for the wings. I just try to keep my strokes like even and all that. Finishing coloring in the wings. I use a lighter blue for where the light is hitting the wings. Again, trying to blend in my colors, going back and forth between the two shades of blue. I try to keep the colors matching as possible, so I used a red for the shoes. I really wanted to make like some highly detailed shoes, but I decided to go against it. Make the colors, the eye of the colors. Eye of the color, that makes sense. The colors of the eyes the same as the wings. Then I get my grayscale Winsor Newton grayscale markers. Bust those out. Give the eyeball some shadow. I go back in, finish the rest of the wing. Decided to just fill in the rest of the hair. Go and do the shirt. Same red color. Now I bust out my Winsor Newtons, and I decided to make the shirt a neutral black color. I go in with a darker shade of black for the shadows. I gave him socks. Then I go in with a lighter shade of black, and I just start mixing those colors in. I go back and forth just to get some blending there done. It's looking pretty good. Then I bust out my chameleons, and I use those for the skin tone. Just gonna make them basic white skin tone. I start off with my base lighter color first. Go ahead and put in some darker tones for the shading. I try to keep in mind where the light source is hitting him. Go back in and do some darker shades. These are also Winsor Newtons that I'm using right here, so I try to blend those in as much as possible. Go in with a darker shade for where the shadows would be. Draw his scar. And I try to blend it a little bit more. Go back and finish up the little armband thing. Work on the skin a little bit more, putting in those darker shadows, darker tones. Gotta do the rest of the horn. Now for the gloves. Starting with my darker shade and then working towards my lighter one and then blending the two. Color in the juice box with some shades of green. Do a little bit of color for the straw. Put a little bit more detail on everything. Try to blend everything a little bit more. Give the bandage some color. Now I start going in with my grayscale Winsor Newton markers and just drawing in the shadows. I just draw the shadows where everything that, due to the way the light is, hits him would cause a shadow. That's where I draw them in. Do it to the hair, and I alternate between the two. You want to try to create a nice little gradient there. Really like how the shading came out on the wings and the horn, to be honest. And now I go in and do the skin, give the skin some shadow. I go in with lighter shades of gray. Do that little button there. Finish up the shadows on the shoe. Start picking out some colors for what I want the katana to look like. I decided to go with this brownish thing for the sheath of the sword. I start with a darker shade of brown, then work my way towards a lighter one. And then I try to blend it in as much as possible. So I'll do a little bit more blues on the wings. I really like how the wings came out on this one, to be honest. Put in some last details on the handle. Going with the gold for the crossguard. That gold goes really nice with that red. So let's do different shades of yellow. Don't know what I was thinking here. For some reason I thought I'd make the wall like a bluish color. Honest to God, I don't know what I was thinking here, folks, but changed my mind, and then I just started working in like some bricks for just to show this is a brick wall. So I start putting in the bricks. Just random bricks of brown all over the place. Then I take a different shade of brown, so darker. Just put that in. Still don't know what I was thinking with the blue. Then I take like this yellowish, orangey color. I guess when I think of like brick walls, I don't know, I tend to think of those kinds of colors. I don't know why. So I just start filling in the gaps. Put in a couple more bricks. After I do all that, I start working in and putting in the shadows. Because of course, if you're being hit by the sun, that would cause a shadow. I start with a light shade of black with my grayscale Winsor Newton markers. But I start working my way towards a darker one. I try to blend in the different shades. Just finally decided to go on with a much darker shade of black, of grayscale, darker shade of gray. And I want to try to make that shadow pop out as much as possible, so you can see and indicate that there is in fact a shadow there. Then I take my white gel pen and just start putting in some highlights there just to make the image pop a little bit more. And I put in the glare on the eyes, put in some shine on the sword, the shoes, some on the wings. You gotta be careful not to go too overboard with that. I did decide to just do a simple little blue background for the other side of the fence. Alright, so that was my version of a human Charizard. I plan to do more of these for the following videos. Like and subscribe if you dig this one. Also, remember to check me out on Twitch on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I go by Black Cat Creations, all one word. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.